Real quick, I will talk about what I am drinking. I tend to do that. It's usually bubbly water. A few times it's been water additives, like G0, Gatorade Zero. I think that was one of the times. Today is none of that. Today I felt like a little bit of flavor, and I don't drink pop at all. Like I don't drink pop, although if you were eating with me last night, you saw me drinking pop, but I rarely drink pop. But when I used to, and I used to go to Taco Bell, they always had Baja Blast, and it was just like, it was the only place you can get it. It was an exclusive. And now Mountain Dew has the zero sugar version, and I thought, hey, I'm going to get some. I bought a whole case, and that was about 3 months ago. So I've been I've been kind of nursing this Mountain Dew Zero for 3-4 months. So today I decided, you know what? I need a little caffeine, need a little flavor. That's what I'm going with. So anyways, not as exciting as seltzer water, but that's what I'm going with. I think it's exciting. It's pretty unique. Anyways, I am now going to stop talking about random stuff, and let's get into what you guys are talking about. Again, if you want to share something, throw it in chat. We're going to talk about it. I'm going to start from the top, and I'm going to work my way down. And pretty soon I'm going to implement a timer so I don't go over like 2 minutes per comment, and I think that'll kind of help me get through comments. Sometimes I spend about 5-6 minutes when I'm editing this video later. I'm like, whoa, I am talking way too much, like I'm doing now. And I want to make sure I get to your stuff without me blabbing like I kind of am now, because I'm going to blab anyways. So that was fun. So real quick before I started, I couldn't get my video feed working. That's why I was late today. Couldn't get my video feed working, and I was like, what the heck? Like, hey, my DeckLink capture card is showing up. I'm plugging in the mini HDMI port over and over. I'm plugging, I'm switching stuff off, switching it on, off and on. And then I find this. This was a mini HDMI plug that plugged into the camera and is now toast. And so this was the reason why I was late. And stream almost didn't happen, but my box of cables came into play because my box of cables had a spare one of these. So another reason why not to get rid of your box of cables, because I have my spare HDMI to, I think this is a mini HDMI. Yeah, it's mini, not micro. Anyways, glad I had that so the stream could go on, so I was a little bit late. But yeah, it took me a long time to figure it out. I was plugging it in, and then one time of plugging it in, I was like, that didn't click the way it used to. And so that's what happened. So anyways, I'm here. Doesn't matter about that anymore. Let's move on. I am Utpa. How's it going? I recently got 3 free Optiplex 3040 machines with i5 processors and 4-core CPUs each. I'm planning to order 32 gigs of RAM and 1 terabyte SSDs for each. Initially, I was concerned about whether or not they would have enough compute power to run my Kubernetes and Proxmox cluster. However, after watching your nut cluster video, I think it'll be fine. What's your take on it? Yes. I think you'll be fine. A couple of things. So how could you run into problems? I think of, rather than focus on why it would work, like what would impact your ability to run a Kubernetes cluster inside of a virtualization server on top of a bare metal machine. The only things that are really going to impact you, for the most part, are going to be IOPS. CPU is going to be pretty fine. Any modern processor, I don't know how old the Optiplex CPU is. It's an i5 that's, 4 cores plus Hyper-V, plus hyper-threading that's going away anyways. It won't matter if I forget it here soon. You're fine. Compute's fine. RAM should be fine. 32 gigs, I think, totally fine. Now your SSDs, I don't know if they're NVMe or not. That's the only thing that could hurt you. If you spin up your Kubernetes cluster all on one machine, you might be fine. If you have 3 nodes plus stuff, you could be fine. I'm not sure, because it depends on your workloads. A lot of this depends. You're going to spread that across your 3 Optiplexes, and you have, one server node on each and 1 agent node on each, or your workers, should be fine. But again, it depends on your workloads. So only thing you got to worry about with Kubernetes, and it's only the etcd version, is that latency. Latency will kill you. Latency will kill Kubernetes. That's a better way to put it. And so etcd is very latent sensitive. And so you want to make sure you have enough IOPS. They don't spike too high. and you have enough network. You're going to be fine on network. You're going to be fine on compute. IOPS is what's going to get you, especially with virtualization. So just, I mean, it's going to be a case-by-case basis. You know, you could spin it all up. It's going to be fine. And then you throw a couple workloads on there. And while those workloads are pulling down the images, right? Because the first time it needs to pull down that big image, you know, it's going to write 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 800 megabytes of stuff sustained, right, on that node. And, you know, during that time, Kubernetes could say, hey, I'm trying to write to etcd right now. Read, write, read, write, read, write. And boom, I just had a hiccup a second, and that will throw Kubernetes off. So, yeah. How could you get around that? Well, one, use NVMEs. I already kind of hinted at that. Two, spread your loads across more machines. So if it does happen, you know, it doesn't throw some things in a tailspin. Or what is the last way? I had a third way in my head, but I can't remember now. But it all boils. Oh, third way is don't use etcd. Go with the MySQL backend or SQL Server backend. Because that's not sensitive to latency at all. It's etcd that's really doing it in there. And, you know, while the SQL Server backend isn't as, you know, sexy as etcd, and it's not highly available unless you have a highly available database, it's super stable, and you need actually less nodes because it votes as one. It basically holds your state. Anyways, if that 2-minute timer was on right now, I'd be about 2 minutes over, so... That's all I have. I think you'll be fine. But again, it's going to really depend on what you're putting on it. Trevor, I think I might move from IPAM to NetBox because I can't get phpIPAM working in my case cluster. Yeah, it depends. It depends. I haven't looked at phpIPAM, but if it's only web-based, I don't know. I'm not going to make assumptions, but if it's only the web management to manage your IPAM solution, I don't know if they're two different parts to the service. You may or may not have some problems, but yeah, it should be fine. I'm saying it should be fine. Like if you can get it running in Docker, you know, you should be able to get it running in Kubernetes. And if they have a container, it should run in Kubernetes, right? There shouldn't be, there's no technical limitation. So, and yeah, if you are having troubles with that, throw that in the containers channel, and I'm sure someone could pipe in because I'm sure people have done it for sure. Because phpIPAM is pretty popular. Twisted Grim, yo, how's it going on? Happy Saturday. How's it going, Romeo Jr.? Good to see you. Cadis. Sorry, I like to say it with a southern accent. I don't know why. Cadis. Closed on my first house yesterday. Shopping for blinds, it's expensive. Yeah, it is. Next weekend, we'll be running Ethernet drops. Awesome. Congratulations on your first house. That's huge. That is huge. Your first house. This is my first house. I've been here for a while, but that's huge. And I'm glad you're already thinking about upgrading stuff. But I think you have your priorities kind of mixed up. You should be like shopping for Ethernet and then blinds later. Kidding. No, blinds first because you don't want people peeking in. You know, you got to get some privacy because I remember when we didn't. Well, this house we had blinds. A few places we didn't. You just feel like so vulnerable. And when you move into a new house, like. You feel super vulnerable because you don't feel safe yet, right? You're like in this new place. Every creak you hear, you think someone's breaking in. You hear all these weird noises you never heard before, and you think someone's breaking in. But you're gonna be fine. So, yeah, blinds are expensive. For sure. I think IKEA. I mean, I don't know what your budget is. IKEA is usually the go-to for me for blinds and stuff like that. Unless you're gonna go like ultra super cheap, you know, just the whatever white vinyl ones or whatever they are, plastic ones. Yeah, IKEA's pretty good deal for some pretty stylish ones. Just measure your windows so you know the length and the width. So, anyways, congratulations. That is awesome. Let's see. There was just something. Trevor, hey, 100 bits, dude. Thank you. The issue I'm having is SSL termination on the Nginx ingress controller. It was supposed to load assets over HTTP instead of HTTPS. Everything should be loading over HTTPS. Yeah, this is it's your load balancer. I know that's easy to say, but it's going to be your ingress controller, right? And then however you're defining that ingress, which should be pretty straightforward if you're using Nginx ingress controller. And then on top of that, if you're using Cert Manager, which you probably should be, then it's, I think, just making some annotations on that ingress object. So again, throw that ingress object YAML or something into our Discord containers, or Discord Kubernetes is probably a good one. I'm sure people have done this. I'm willing to bet people have done it for sure. For sure. But thanks for the bits, dude. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. What flavor are you drinking? Well, I talked about that. I'm drinking Mountain Dew flavored water. Mountain Dew Baja Blast Zero Sugar flavored water. No water for me today. I actually had a huge Nalgene right before this, so if I don't end, roughly in an hour, I'm gonna have to run to the bathroom because I drank 32 ounces right before I got on stream. But yeah. Hello World, CBN Sandwich. Hello World, thank you. Oh, and I noticed too that lights aren't changing, so I will refund points at the end because they're not changing, so you're spending points. Remind me in 45 minutes to refund points. I have to do that, or it won't happen. So yeah, I'll refund points. Change point. Don't be deleting. I don't know what she just deleted. Siri just deleted something. I don't know what she deleted. I said, remind me, and she just said it's deleted, and it's kind of scaring me on what she deleted, and I have no way of knowing now. That is awesome. Anyways, thanks, Siri. Let's see, weekend project update. Oh, I think I saw this. Wait, is this update 1? Completed Terraform, of course. Whoa, this is update 2. This is update 2. I had update 1, but completed Terraform course and created 3 Ubuntu server VMs in Proxmox using Cloud.init template. We'll share an issue in my next question. 2, set up an authentic container on Docker to secure all of my services with 2FA. Awesome. 3, converting all of my custom commands into SSH, into bash scripts and uploading them to GitHub for use. That is awesome. That is awesome. 3 awesome things right there. Terraform course. Awesome. Authentic to self-host your own authentication and authorization system. Awesome. And then, or identity management is probably a better way to put it. And then converting all your custom commands into bash. Yeah, that is awesome. Congratulations. That is sweet, man. Sweet. You are the busy one. I thought I got a lot done. Look at this guy. Takano, how's it going, man? Just stopping by real quick Hope everyone's good. Ending up getting the Iowa cassette Walkman a bit ago, and hopefully getting the belts this Monday. Now I need a soldering iron station to resolder a cable I tore off. If anyone has any ideas for a decent one, man, that is awesome. I don't know. I don't know of any. I wish I did. But dude, we need pictures of this. We need pictures of this in Discord. We almost need a retro channel for all the stuff you come up with. But I kind of like it in hardware because it kind of mixes it up. But Alex, it's broken. I will look into it. That probably explains more than what I thought it was. So, it's weird. I'm not going to get too off on a tangent, but I can see logs from the bot. He's in the channels, but he might not be doing it. Sorry, I was reading my logs. That's why I don't do it. It might be might be having a problem fetching a Twitch token. That's where I was in the log. So anyways, that's probably what it is. Is you can't get a Twitch token, which kind of explains a little bit more. If I do, what was it? Status? Or if I do anything, it should say whether or not. Hey, so my bot is working. I have a Twitch token. It's something else. Something's going on with it in general, because that was my bot just responding right there. Let's see who's getting. I can't think about the iPhone because that's a $1,400 decision right there. Mathney, how's it going? Good to see you. Yakto, how's it going? YWS, CEO of YWS is in the channel. Good to see you. And it was nice to see you. So Craft Computing did a voice call to you guys in Discord when I was in Canada, and I had to wake up at 3 a.m. to get on the plane. So if I was just kind of like groggy and everything, that's why. I had no idea what was going on. I slept for 2 hours. I went into the lobby, and Jeff's, he's all bright-eyed. I don't know if he went to sleep. He's like, hey, someone wants to talk to you. I'm like, oh, what is going on? And it's funny that the time difference, you guys were still up. It was like, 11 o'clock midnight for you guys. For me, it was 3 in the morning. And on top of that, I had to get on a plane soon. So good to see you, dude. Good to see you. Unicorn reach around. I just ran Docker Compose pull across all of my HomeLab VMs, so we'll see. Hey, been there. That's the Watchtower life right there. You're living the Watchtower life, right? Where you're just like, I'm gonna pull these whenever I want, and hopefully things work. So you just did the manual Watchtower. If you really want to throw a chaos monkey in there, throw a Watchtower on that machine. Just have it pull every hour. It's fun. It's fun. Good to see you. I hope it goes well. And, I kid about Watchtower and Docker pulls. For the most part, things are pretty good, right? Developers don't want to break their stuff. So for the most part, things are good. If you're pinned to latest, that's a different story because you could introduce breaking changes, right? Latest would be the latest if they don't version, right? If they don't have a 1.0 and a 2.0 and they always push the latest, then yeah, that can happen. That could be bad too. So, dude, Frigid Souls, dude, thanks for the raid. 9 people. Hey, thanks for joining in. Hello, 9 people. I wish you would say their name, but that would call them out. Hey, thanks. Welcome to the channel. Frigid Souls, thank you for that. Appreciate it. Just talking about some Docker stuff, talking about all kinds of stuff. All kinds of stuff, whatever comes my way. But you're living the Watchtower life. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. That's what I say. Let's see. I'm Upa. I tried using Linux desktop, but I didn't feel the vibe, so I changed back to Windows 11. Love being in the Linux server environment rather than using Linux desktop. Yeah, I totally get that. Linux server, yeah, totally. Whoa, Twitch. Like, what is up with this? This is awesome, but I don't know. Like, Twitch is just like throwing me bits. That's what it says to me. Like, hey, Twitch, we added 2 bits and 1 bonus bits to Alex's Power Up Redemption. That's awesome. And thanks for the Power Up Redemption. I don't know. This is new. Twitch just tossing me bits. Hey, thanks. Thanks, Twitch. Keep them coming, Twitch. Twitch has deep pockets. They have deep pockets because they have Amazon, right? They got Besos money. Come on, Twitch. You got Besos money, and you're tossing me 2 bits. Come on. That's Elon gifting. Yeah. Oh man, I'm just kidding. Anyways, but hey, I feel you, right? I feel you. Server environment, yeah. Totally. Like, you could drop me right now into any flavor of Linux and I'd be pretty okay. I'd be pretty comfortable. Any flavor of a Linux server and I'd be pretty okay making my way around doing things, right? At the end of the day, I'm here to do one thing. I'm in and I'm out. Or I'm doing a few tasks. I'm in and I'm out. Well, when you're using Linux desktop, you're not doing a few tasks. You're doing everything. And you're not going to be in and out, so you got to live with your environment, right? And so that's honestly one thing that I think a lot of people, I don't want to say overlook, but they romanticize about Linux. And yes, Linux is great, and all of this stuff. And then when they use it for a week, they're like, yeah, this stuff is great, but there's like a handful of things that like drive me wild, right? And I'll be the first to say, like, I love iTerm. I even love Windows Terminal. I love them both better than Ubuntu's terminal, the terminal for GNOME, honestly. And that's just because it's familiarity, the way it looks, the way it works, everything I have configured. And even if I configure it the same exact way with ZSH, it's, the font smoothing and all that stuff. So yeah, there's just enough stuff different with Linux in general to where it could drive you crazy over time. Right? And then sometimes there are no substitutes for the thing you want, so you got to use the substitute for it, which, is just another thing that could drive you crazy over time. So I've been there. I mean, I have a dual boot of Ubuntu still on my Windows machine, and I use it every now and then. And I'm going to be honest, when I'm done, I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go back to Mac, or okay, I'm ready to go back to Linux. But then there are times when I'm just like, yeah, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm on my Ubuntu machine. When it comes to machine learning and AI stuff, that stuff just works on Linux. Just works. There's no craziness you have to do with Windows and Docker and WSL, or craziness you have to do on Mac with Brew and stuff not working the exact way it should because it's not using GPL stuff. And so, when I get on Ubuntu, I'm like, this stuff is just going to work. All my ML AI stuff, like everything's going to work. because my destination is also Linux. Like I deploy all of my stuff to Linux. So if I'm on Linux, I'm like, yes, this is 100% going to work exactly the way it should, because that's what I'm deploying it to. And when you get into Windows and, Windows, even with WSL or Mac, it's just like you have all these little shims and you're like, is this because it's Windows or is this because it's Mac, or is it really going to happen like this when I ship this code? So yeah, I get it. I think for work, I could totally switch over. And I am considering it. However, I'm going to make some excuses right now. My MacBook that I have is an Intel, and my Intel it's unfortunately the terrible one with the touch bar, and then I kind of lose my function keys. So I can't really, unless there's an open source version of the touch bar software for Linux, I can't really use that machine because I won't be able to hit any of my function keys. And on top of that, I can't hit my escape key, the most favorite key ever that Apple took away when they did my version of the Mac. So anyways, MacBook. Anyways, yeah, I could use an external keyboard too, but I'm not going to do that. Anyways, I'll get off that. It's so easy to go on that tangent and that stuff. Romeo, anyone running NetBird Mesh VPN in their HomeLab environment? I'm currently running head-scale, tail-scale, but curious if one is better than the other. Hey, I'm not. There are people who are. I know Christian did a video on it. And I mean, that's the problem they're trying to solve is like, hey, self-host the whole thing, right? There's no like, okay, I'm going to run tail scale for this, and then I'm going to self-host head scale, and then I'm going to modify all of the clients to work with my instance. There's none of that. That's what they're going for. So I think, as far as I know, it seems to be the entire solutions, basically like, self-hosted tail scale. For the most part. So I haven't done it. I'm sure it's complicated, but it might be worth it. The complexity and the time that you put into figuring that out, I'm getting the Canadian O. Putting that out. The time and complexity that the time you put into figuring out the complexity and getting that running at home might be worth it compared to all of the things you have to modify and installing head scale to then work. You're basically putting in a shim for it to work with tail scale. So it might be worth it. I just got Twisted Grim. How's it going? Oh yeah, Ansible stuff. All right. I just got some Ansible code set up and to start up and shut down my 10 Orange Pi boxes. That is awesome. My 3-node cluster, my 3-node cluster plus 10 Orange Pi 3 EQ. It's fun to have both AMD 64 and ARM 64 in a case cluster. Yes, it is. I've got to try physical cluster auto scaling at some point with a relay board and some custom scripts. That is awesome. Yeah, so awesome. Yeah, I agree. It's fun to have mixed architecture, right? Where you have some AMD 64 and some ARM 64, and then what's not fun but possible is if you have containers that aren't built for mixed architecture, rare, I know, but it does happen. You might have some containers that are only built for AMD 64 and they don't run on ARM 64. So then you could, put taints or put however you want to use your selectors and your, tags on your nodes or labels on your nodes to make sure that the Plinko chips fall in the right place, your containers fall into the right machine with the right architecture. So, or you can use feature discovery. There's so many ways to do it, but yeah, it is fun. I've done it for a little while. And when I was testing it at first, I had a Raspberry Pi 3B right here. And I didn't put any feature detection or anything. I was just like, hey, anything can run anywhere. Well, I didn't think about that in my head. I was just testing it. And then I went to bed, and the next day, Pi was still running. And I realized my whole entire WordPress website was running off my Pi, publicly faced. It was totally fine. No one knew. This was when I was running WordPress stuff. And I was like, oh, that was awesome. Like, it did exactly what it should do, and it just worked. So, yeah, pretty cool stuff. Auto scaling is fun too. Auto scaling is fun. Machine auto scaling, horizontal pod auto scaling is fun. I haven't done machine auto scaling to be able to build something and add it to the cluster, but I've done horizontal pod auto scaling. That's super fun too. But it's always hard to come up with a metric to base it on to where you know how to scale. So Awesome, fun stuff, man. This is fun stuff. This is like why sometimes like I love building a lab, because like these are the things like no business is gonna let you test. Hey, can I turn on horizontal pod auto scaling for a little bit and run 10 pods? Like, no, that's gonna cost like $3,000 a month. Like, get out of here. Oh yeah, it's awesome. Okay, let's see. Ox Stack. Oh, Ox Stack Canary. There's a lot going on there. Ox Stack Canary. I like it. Hey Tim. First of all, I hope you're doing good. Thank you. Have you heard of the term? Yeah, idempotency. Yep, I was deploying Ansible script, the way to go, with keeping idempotency in mind, using mount. However, this failed. I ended up using shell commands to do the mount. For whatever reason, I had serious performance issues executing QEMU guests. It got hung up on the process while Ansible forks 5 by default. What do you know about this? Well, I don't. So idempotency, I mean, high level, the way I understand it or explain it to people is you can run the same thing and get the same output. So it's basically, the way I think of it is like, hey, I can run this function numerous times and I'm gonna get the same result each time. I used it a lot in when we restate data, like if we restate data, like, you know, hey, we're missing a day of metrics, you know, we'll write a script really quick in SQL and we'll run it and it will catch us up. But you can run that script at any time and it's only going to catch you up. It's not like, you know, it's basically fixing the data. So there's a lot of things in computer science where you could do that. Idempotency, you run it and the output should be the same no matter, I guess, when you run it. So anyways, that is a terrible explanation for it, but I use it all the time. Functional programming uses it a lot, which I do. Anyways, do I know why that's happening? I don't, to be honest. I don't. And it kind of stinks that you have to write a shell script to then do the mount for you, because then that, I assume, breaks idempotency, because when you then undo the mount, you have to write a script to undo the mount rather than, I think, Ansible just undoing it for you. So I don't know. I wish I did. I wish I did. Mounts can get stuck for any reason. I'm not the greatest when it comes to this. I mean, a good place to look is in the logs. I know that's kind of the easy way out for me to say, hey, look at the logs. But anytime I have problems mounting the logs, mounting anything, I look at the logs. Like last week, I just had all kinds of problems mounting NFS share for something that's coming out next week. You'll see. And, you know, I run it, nothing happens, no errors. And then I look at the logs and I see what's going on. So I don't know. I read something that had something with expecting an entry in FS tab. Yeah, that's usually where I mount stuff. You know, for me, I echo that thing out. I echo out something to FS tab, and then I run the mount command, and the mount command will then mount it through FS tab. And sometimes I need to restart some services. But that's it. And then, like I said, like I had a, you know, not the exact same problem, but a similar problem with NFS this past week for my next video, and kind of went through the same thing. But when in doubt, like, yeah, I would. What would I do? I would look at the logs. I know that's an easy way out, but that's honestly what I would do. I don't have a ton of experience on it, but I hope you figured it out. And that's awesome you're thinking about idempotency, because that's something that a lot of people don't think about. It's great for Ansible, especially because, like, hey, when you undo the thing, you want to make sure it's undone, right? And you don't leave it in the state that it wasn't before you ran the thing. So anyways, I hope you figure it out. If it's something like, hey, obvious, or if it's something I don't know, that more people should know about, definitely throw it in our Discord. We have an automation channel. I'd love to know exactly what it was, because yeah, I can see how that could be troublesome. Sigor, how's it going? Hello. Hey, Budney, how's it going? Good to see you. Trevor, I see Ubuntu desktop in the background. LOL. Yeah, you do. Yep. You see, this is Ubuntu. It actually is running Ubuntu, and it's running Noble Numbat, and that's running Windows 10. Yeah, they're both running One's running Ubuntu, one's running Windows, and they're really running. It's kind of sad. Like what I would love to have is like a digital photo. Yeah, Windows 10. I know. I didn't put Windows 11 on it because it's running on my Zima board, and the Zima board doesn't support Windows 11, and so that's kind of. It's funny. You want to know how I wipe disks lately? The fastest way I can wipe disks, I could do it on Linux too. But because it's a Zima board and I have my serial ATA and power right there, I'll plug a drive into it. I'll use BitLocker encryption on it, put a password even I don't know, full disk encryption, done. I know that's not the same as like a DoD level 7 wipe and all of that, because I'm not really wiping it, but I am encrypting it with a key that even I don't know, so I can't even get to the data that was on there. So, that kind of takes care of the data. If someone could figure out the encryption key and then, or crack BitLocker or crack, yeah, that's what I'd be saying. Crack the encryption that BitLocker uses, sure, they'd get to my data, but pretty rare. That's my quick way of wiping stuff if I need to do it quick and dirty. Otherwise, I use dban. Actually, there's something else I just stumbled on. It was a fork of dban, because dban can't be redistributed. It's so cool. I just learned about this I was working on another story for another video, and I learned about it from that company, which that should be coming out in a couple weeks. There's a fork of dban that can be redistributed. It's fully open source, and it doesn't lock out any of the additional wipe levels, because I think dban only lets you do a DoD 3, level 3 versus 7. And on top of that, it can be installed and run anywhere. And on top of that, they built an OS so you can boot from it. Anyways, I forget what it's called. I'll share it somewhere, but it's I was like, awesome. This like solves like the problems I've had with dban. Dban is Dan's boot and nuke. And with that comes some restrictions on how you can or can't distribute it. And then on top of that, I think you have to have the professional version to do level 7, which is really the one of the best ways to do it. And there's an open source project that forked it way ahead of time and then kind of caught up with it. So anyways, it's pretty awesome. Long story short, where was I going with this? Where I was going with it was I have a Windows desktop and I have an Ubuntu desktop. I would love to just have like a digital picture frame of these two things. But I can't find one big enough, bright enough, high enough resolution. And then I thought, well, I'll just get a monitor and hook up a little PC to it. And then I'm like, that's exactly what I'm doing right now. So if anyone knows of like a super high quality picture frame and not a Samsung frame TV, I would love to have that back there, but I can't afford like $1,000 picture frame. But if someone knows of a 27-inch, this is getting weird now, but a 27-inch picture frame, let me know. Shred OS, thank you. That is it. Thank you. Shred OS. Thank you, Alex. And Shred OS uses this dban fork, and they built the OS so you could boot from it. And it's pretty awesome. It's basically dban unhinged. You get it all. But So anyways, if you want to wipe and you want to do a DoD level 7, that's a way to easily do it. So anyways, if you guys know of a gigantic picture frame, let me know. Is that tea sponsored by, hey, Redshirt Jeff? Alex, yeah, so it is. It is. So redshirtjeff.com, I think, is the name of his store. I bought this from Gearling a while back, and I love it. I actually love it, because it's kind of like, people don't know. Like, I went out to dinner last night. I did wear this last night. I did change clothes, but I wore this last night, and a friend was like, she's like, is that a motherboard? I was like, yeah. I wasn't going to go and say, yeah, it's actually a Raspberry Pi, and it's the X-Rays version of it. And, technically, it's an SBC, not just a mother. I was just like, oh yeah, it is. Like, good call, But yeah, I like it because it one, I think it's cool. But two, as soon as people see it, they're just like, yeah, that dude's into tech, But yeah, it is Jeff's, and I do have it. I love it. The defreeze, hello, how's it going? Razo Beckett, no glasses. No, I was like so frazzled, like trying to get the stream going, and I destroyed one of my cables, but it took me 10 minutes to realize that I destroyed my HDMI cable, and then like running all around trying to get the lights in order and test audio, that I was like glasses were downstairs. I was like, I'm not going to grab them. So yeah, no glasses, no hat today. Extra squinting. This is why I got all this going on right here, because it's squinting and smiling. And no hat. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Let's see. That is Power Hype Train. Oh, yeah. Ticano, I did also end up picking up an actual Sony Walkman that is working condition, but the belt seems to be on its way. That is awesome, man. Oh, yeah, because it would have a belt to drive the tape. Things you don't think about, right? Yeah, that is awesome. Man, you were going wild with this retro stuff. We need a retro channel dedicated for you, man. For you. You might like some stuff I have coming up in a little bit, because I know you like retro stuff, but you're so young too. It's like, man, this is like, yeah, it's like retro to me, but it was like stuff like probably before you were born, which is awesome, by the way. Trevor, dude, thanks for the bits. Appreciate it. Got it working. Had an environment variable. Yeah. So IPAM. Oh yeah. Trusted X-forwarded 4 set to true. No. Yeah. So X-forwarded 4 is a header that says like, hey, I'm basically trust requests that come from this upstream proxy, if there is one. So it's basically saying, hey, so when you set that header, it's basically, I assume you had to set that to true, and then it's saying, hey, okay, I'll accept. Really, I think you want to tune that to very specific IPs or domains or stuff like that, but I'm sure it's just a wild card to say, yep, I trust all upstream proxies, which in HomeLab environments mostly fine. There's a way to tune that though and lock that down to IP or range. Do that for sure. Awesome, you got it going. Awesome, you got it going though, dude. Deepanesso, how's it going? Hey Tim, how's the colo going, dude? First of all, thank you so much for the continued support. 46 months, tier 1. Deepanesso, it's going great. No news is good news. That's what I've learned with my colo. Like, it's going so well that I'm just like, I'm not thinking about it, which is a good thing. But every now and then I'm like, is my alerting working? Oh, it's going pretty good. There are, it's not all roses. There are a few quirks every now and then. Because I did do, I think what Upa was doing earlier, where I built 3 Proxmox servers, and then within those Proxmox servers, I'm virtualizing 3 Kubernetes clusters, which is mostly fine until you start running in the stuff I was talking about earlier, when you start and get into high I/O situations. And for the most part, I/O super low. Every now and then, like when I kick off a build, because I build my own code, I build my containers, and then on top of that, they're built in Kubernetes. And then on top of that, it's like it's building a container, pushing the image, and then pulling the image right back down. Sometimes when that's happening, every now and then a pod will say, hey, it goes crazy. Like, hey, I didn't hear from this pod, and the health check blows up, and then it fixes itself, but it's a little bit annoying. Because on my servers, I don't have NVMe drives on those one-use servers. I wish I did. And so I've been trying to think like, okay, so can I put a PCI Express card in there with 4 NVMe drives to get more IOPS out of it. And I think that's the answer over faster networking. So anyways, that combined with Longhorn when it syncs, and then on top of that, my snapshots for the backups, if all of those things are happening around the same time, cluster kind of gets a little bit upset. It recovers, but it just generates a lot of noise for me. I'm just like, blood pressure goes up. Why am I getting these alerts? Oh, it's doing the thing again, and it'll recover within 50, 60 seconds. So, anyways, I should tune my alerts, but at the same time, I'm really pushing what I can do with those 3 servers as far as Kubernetes goes, and not because of Kubernetes. It's because I'm running out of IOPS because I'm running 3 clusters on top of 3 machines. Otherwise, things are great. Hardware's great. No problem. Would I like faster networking? Sure. Would I like more IOPS? Sure. But I'm kind of just like riding it out for a little bit to see what I can get away with. Because at the end of the day, it's not running a ton of stuff. It's running the bots. It's running the bot that's in this channel right now, running my websites, my documentation, my wiki, and some other stuff, all my databases for all of that stuff. So just kind of riding it out. It's pretty good. I don't want to say this, but I'm No, I don't want to say it because I'm going to jinx myself. But I'll say it. I don't hope something breaks, but at the same time, I want to be able to repair something there because I think that's good. It's fun. It's fun. Like, I haven't been back since I stood it up. And not only does it make for good content, it's fun to go there. So I don't want anything to break, but at the same time, I just want something to happen to where I have to go there so I can, go and check in on them and make some content about it. So I definitely don't want it to break, but I still want it to break, if that's the thing. Now, anyways, it's going good. I couldn't be happier. So it's running well, as it should. Palace, how's it going? I'm slowly buying the parts to convert a used HP Elite Desk 800 G3 and an RTX A2000 GPU to give to a friend of mine for his first gaming computer for 1080p gaming. Dude, that sounds awesome. That sounds awesome. Yeah, that's sweet, man. That is sweet. And I know that like 1080p gaming, I think is great. Like, I know that like a lot of people want 4K and all of this stuff, but 1080p is just like, I don't know. I think 1080p, I think 1480p is kind of the sweet spot, but 1480p, you got to get a 1480p monitor and it's all weird, it's this weird ratio. But I think 1080p, especially for someone who hasn't done, PC gaming before, is awesome. It's gonna run so well. They're gonna be so close to the monitor. It's gonna be great. That 1080p, it's just like, yeah, it's gonna be awesome. But that sounds fun. I wish I knew someone like that I could build this for and do that for them. I have so many spare parts and I could build someone a pretty awesome PC, but there are a few people like in my circle or even in my neighborhood that like either don't have one or are interested in that. And I would love to do that. So good on you, man. That's good on you. Maybe so. I since you're saying it's their first gaming PC, I bet they're a console person. So you're trying to convert them. I like it. I like it. And on top of that, I start to think about like, hey, if this is their first PC or gaming PC, like what's next, right? So I think they're going to learn so much by getting this PC, like I did when I got my first. They're going to open it up, they're going to look at it, and they're going to realize it's not so scary in there. And then they're going to attempt to upgrade stuff. I think you're putting them down a really good path. So yeah, good on you, man. That is awesome. That is awesome. Romeo Jr., the Techno Tim in very different settings went no. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I've been trying to switch it up too. I got to throw the algorithm off, especially on YouTube. And like, it's been targeting people who like hats and like glasses, glasses. Oh man, I'm making up new words. Glasses. Now I got to trick the algorithm so it'll now target people who don't like hats and don't like glasses. Oh, I don't know if that's the case, but you could tell when I'm not wearing my glasses because I'm like this. Because I have to squint, and I shouldn't. I should have them on. That's exactly why I should have them on. But yeah, it's I don't know, and a little. Yeah, I won't go into it, but it's a little bit easier for me when I'm working at my computer not to wear my glasses. I can kind of cheat because I can choose the distance where I can get closer or further back. But once I walk away from here, I got to wear them. I got to wear them because it's like I can't control the distance and I'm either squinting or, not being able to see as great far away. So I have Phantom Way, you have the same one too. Awesome. Yeah, IPS, exactly. Apple Intelligence, going back to that. That is, going back to that. 113, plus one. 13 Pro, 16, okay, so Twisted Grim, you guys are making the upgrade. See, I was kind of there in my head, but then I was like, if you guys are doing it, maybe I should. Because like I said, like I use this to film. Like anytime you're saying anything that's not my face and not the screen, it's coming from here. Like 100%, like this is such a great camera for like my point and shoot. And I have a gimbal for this and it tends to work out pretty good. And I think, even if it didn't have the Apple Intelligence, the AI, I still might do it just because the camera. Like I'm missing 2 camera upgrades too. And on top of that, the 4K 120 frames per second sounds really appealing because then you get super buttery smooth slow-mo. So that's what I'm interested in, is just getting some good looking slow-mo. So let's see. September. Oh, do a trade-in. Yeah, to help with the price. I thought about it. I think they'll give me, I want to say 400, which I feel is kind of lowballing. I mean, it is, but then I don't have to hassle. It's kind of weird. I didn't look on eBay to see what they sell for, or even Facebook Marketplace. But this is the 512 version. It's 512 gigs. So I bumped up the storage, and I feel like that's kind of low, but I don't know. But then again, it's like, how much I used it over the last like 3 or 4 years, like a ton, and it's like I got a lot of use out of it. So, but I was kind of hoping it would be just like my 8. Here's my other one. So this is my 8 prior to my 13. I had an 8 all the way up until a 13, and I still use this 8. I actually use this 8. I use it for a teleprompter with this one contraption I have. So I still use this. I still get use out of it, even though like I can't surf the web or anything. Works good enough to copy and paste my script in there and use it as a teleprompter. So I was kind of hoping I could kind of get that life out of this one. Because my 8, you think when I went from an 8 to a 13, I jumped, 5 some generations up. It's not looking like that anymore with new buttons, new action buttons, new camera buttons, Apple Intelligence, blah 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 blah. So, yeah, I don't mean to be skeptical or anything, but I know at the same time, Apple is also trying to, they have to please their investors, and their investors want Apple to give people a reason to get a new phone, because they've been making them too good to where people can wait from an 8 to a 13 and not upgrade. So I think, I not to be a skeptic or cynical, but I think that had a lot to do with it too, where they're like, yep, investors say new phone. They're going to do what they want, but at the same time, they pay attention to their investors and their stock prices. So anyways, I'll get off that. Let's see. So what did I miss? I clicked on something. I talked about that. Did I totally just accidentally do this? Sorry, it was a duplicate. Okay, so let's see. Now that I have enough hard drive space, I'm re-ripping all of my physical media. Tedious and seems never ending. Budney, yeah, it can be for sure, especially if you're like, you did it back in the day and you're like, yeah, 1080p, that's good enough. And then you start buying, Blu-rays at 4K and you're like, I got to do all this again. So I'm curious what your settings are. And like, what's the perfect bit rate for you, right? Or are you doing like exact copies? Because that's a lot of space. That is a lot of space for sure. So curious what you use. Palace, from the Twitch blog, from September 12th to 17th, we'll cheer 10% on top of all cheers of 300 plus more and all power-ups. Oh, that is awesome. And may give extra bits from time to time. Dude, thanks, Twitch. They need to give me some Besos level cheers, though. I'm kidding. Thank you. I appreciate it, Twitch. And thank you all that did cheer so that Twitch could then pile on. Let's see. That's the same one. Okay. Those are multiple. Oh, that's right. Thank you, Alex. Trevor, there is a container. Oh yeah, we talked about that. Oh, now I'm starting to get overlaps. Netbox is awesome and worth it. I need to look into it too. That's the one where I'm like netbox and I screw them up, but I got them. If you say netbox, I know. But sometimes when people say netdata, I confuse it and I think they're talking about netbox. For some reason, that one doesn't stick. Alex, I need this wildly complicated quorum-based solution. Usually ends, out being less available than SQL servers. Yeah, I agree. That's something that I talked about a lot. And one of the reasons why for my home production, I went back to single node Docker is because I found that even when configuring a highly available system like Kubernetes, my uptime was actually lower than not using an HA system. It's super counterintuitive, but if you think about all of the complexity that goes into Kubernetes and like all the things that could go wrong, like even though you have a highly available system, it's way more complex and there are much more things that can break, and any one of those things that break could take that service down and then your nines go down. So I found that, like, for me personally, I was like, okay, like I run Kubernetes in Makolo, I run huge clusters at work, and I have a test cluster at home. No longer doing home production stuff in Kubernetes because while I love doing ops, I wanna also work on some new stuff, and I can't just be doing ops all the time for my home Kubernetes. So But then again, I still run a home Kubernetes. It's just not my production stuff like Home Assistant, like Plex, like all of these important things that I need to be up no matter what. Those are no longer Kubernetes because I was so tired of just like, what now? What now? It was like, this pod got stuck. This pod is stuck terminating. Why? Storage is not connected. Oh, this pod is stuck down and storage is not connected. Let me reboot the node. Things like that. Can get to you after a while, and again, like you were saying about SQL Server, if you have a SQL Server just running by itself in a container by itself, on a VM by itself, on an LXC by itself, and you don't touch it, there's not much that can go wrong with it because you don't have orchestration in place, you don't have all this stuff in place. Outside of you shutting it down or a kernel panic or power loss, it's going to be up. It's not the same with Kubernetes. That is not the same with Kubernetes because of the million of things that could go wrong. And on top of that, to be fair, things that happened weren't the fault of Kubernetes. Is me. It's me deploying to it, me making changes to it, me taking one of the nodes down without draining them properly, right? I'm throwing wrenches all the time into Kubernetes, just thinking like, yeah, it's bulletproof. Kubernetes isn't bulletproof. It's built to be HA. And it can recover from unexpected stuff, but you shouldn't be doing unexpected things all the time like I do. I'm just going to shut down this node with 56 containers on it. Be fine. Really in a production scenario, you would coordinate and you would drain it and you would wait, right? That's the proper way to do it. Coordinate so more pods don't come on, drain it and evict all those pods so they all go away. Wait till everything happens, then shut the node down. But me, I'm like, ain't nobody got time for that. I'm gonna reboot this thing. And so, the blame isn't on Kubernetes. It's the operator. It's the operator, whether it be the hardware or lack of hardware I'm using, or the lack of attention to like detail when I go to shut or reboot things. So, but then again, I'm like, hey, it's just home. But then again, like it's like, well, Home Assistant, things aren't working, and that's not fun. So, anyways, I'm gonna click on some Bill Nash. Here we go. Bill Nash. I've been upgrading the RV mobile app. Oh, that sounds awesome. This is like my dream to have like a camper, an RV, where I have yet another place to put a whole bunch of tech in. You're living the dream, man. I've been upgrading the RV mobile lab. Oh, I like it. You even have a dedicated lab to this. All right. I'm liking this more and more. OPNSense handling both T-Mobile's away service as well as Starlink RV, gigabit Ethernet down both sides for workstation, and ESXi server, both 2950X Threadrippers with 128 gigs of RAM, 16 terabytes M.2s, as well as the client Ethernet bridges at both ends of my 40-foot RV for connecting to local Wi-Fi. That is awesome. Upgrading batteries and chargers this weekend. 800 amps / hours of LiFePO or LiFePO or the one type of batteries with an MPP charger for the roof solar. Currently headed down the coast from Seattle to TwitchCon. Dude, you are living the life, man. You just had to throw that in at the end. It's like, yep, RV, decked it out with a HomeLab, put all this sweet tech in, upgraded it. I have ESXi running in there, NVMEs, I have Threadrippers in there, and I'm going to drive it down the coast, and I'm going to TwitchCon. Oh, that is awesome, man. Dude, well, that sounds awesome. I would love to see photos of this or how you, what challenges you ran into and why you made some of the choices that you made, because those are the things I learned from and the things that I take into consideration if I ever go down this path. It's awesome to learn from other people's mistakes. Maybe you didn't make any, but if you did, I'd love to know what they are. Dude, have fun at TwitchCon. I assume it's in San Diego. I'm bad. I think it's in San Diego. I haven't looked, but I assume it is. But man, that sounds awesome. You want to swing by Minneapolis? It's a quick, 1,500 miles to the east from Seattle. Oh man, but dude, have a good time, man. That is awesome. Let's see. I know I've gone way over, but I was also way late getting on. So I'm just going to start clicking on some that say my name or that grabbed my attention. Hey, Mr. Tim, I just got the Sysracks 12U enclosure delivered 2 days ago, and I'm putting it together. Have you heard of why their products dropped in quality? My one has so many quality issues, I can't appropriately recommend them all. I don't know. I've had, so I have the 32U in my basement, and, you know, I mean, I didn't have a ton of quality issues. You know, was the metal lined up perfectly? No. Did I have to use a little bit of elbow grease sometimes? Yeah, I did. But my 12U right here, which I think you have, mine was fine. Yeah, I don't know. That's unfortunate. So yeah, I don't know, but I've heard that people who have problems, if you reach out to them, they're going to send you replacements. I do think that they're going to make everything right. So I hope that's the case. They seem they're pretty great to work with. I think English is their second language, so you know, there was a few times where it was kind of hard to, well, probably him to understand me because I don't talk in full sentences or proper grammar. But that aside, I hope they make everything right, and they should make everything right? So if you have something that's not working, yeah, talk to them, write them, because they should make it right. And I will say, one I ordered from their website and one I ordered for Amazon. I don't know if that makes a difference. I assume they're obviously coming from different batches, but from the same company. So yeah, that's a bummer. That's a bummer. Well, I hope you figure it out, and you figure it out because yeah, that's hopefully they make it right for sure. All right, let's end. I don't know what this is, but I'm just clicking. 3 Pork Chop Express. How's it going? Setting up my NAS, SC847. It's running TrueNAS scale. I'm currently migrating all of my Docker data from Proxmox to TrueNAS. Let me know if this plan makes sense. I'm creating SMB shares to move the data. Thank you very much. So let me see. So you're setting up a TrueNAS server. It's running scale. Awesome. Okay, I'm currently migrating all of my Docker data from Proxmox to TrueNAS. Yep. Yes. So that all makes sense. So I get what you're doing. Building a new NAS. It's TrueNAS. You're setting up data sets for your Docker data. And then you're just creating a share real quick. So then on your Proxmox server, you can just copy and paste it over there. Is SMB the best way to go? I don't know. NFS might be better, but I don't think it really matters. You might have some weird permission stuff, like after then you spin up the containers on TrueNAS. But all of it seems good. That's exactly what I would do. NFS or SMB is kind of up to you. I honestly probably would go SMB too, just so I can reach it from Windows easily. And from Mac easily, because although you can do NFS both, it's just a different world and stuff I don't want to deal with. So that's probably why you did it. So yeah, it's probably what I would do too. All sounds good. I did see that the beta coming up for TrueNAS, the one that gives Das Boot to K3S and welcomes in Docker, is in beta. And I saw in that beta that they're actually going to migrate your containers and their data over to their new Docker Compose feature, which is pretty cool. That's a ton of engineering. That is a ton of engineering that they're doing. I couldn't imagine doing that. And good on them that they're not only did they do what their customers want, but at the same time, they're not only giving them a migration path to do it, they're actually doing that migration for you too, which I think is, man, hats off to IX Systems or TrueNAS, because, with a lot of people, they could just say, hey, we're either gonna stay the course and we don't care about our customers, or two, they're gonna say, yeah, we made a mistake. Here's how we're gonna do it now. It's up to you to migrate stuff. We might write some documentation. But then there's three, is which they're doing. It's basically the white glove treatment, where they're saying, yes, we made a mistake. We are moving to the thing you want. And oh, by the way, we're going to automatically migrate it for you when you update. And I think that's awesome. You don't see that a lot from a lot of companies, or especially who are doing open source stuff. I get it. They're selling the enterprise version. That's what funds the open source version. But still, that is awesome. Good on them. So anyways, I only bring that up because I have a few containers and I'm interested to see what that's going to look like. And you say you're doing it for Docker, so I'm always curious, like, okay, so then are you gonna run their new containers on it? So anyways, lots of things remind me of other things that may or may not be related. So anyways, oh man, you guys, this was so awesome. Man, so so one, thank you all for being here. I do apologize again that I was super late. It was all this. This little cable. And I think I have a better picture of it in Discord. But luckily I had another one and it's working. Which reminds me, now I need to buy a backup because this is the thing that will stop a stream. I almost hooked up my crappy 1080p webcam and put it right up here and redid all my scenes, and then I was like, I was just playing with it again, and I ended up with this, and I was like, sweet. So it's kind of, yeah. I'm am I glad it happened? No, but am I glad I figured it out? Yes. Anyways, thank you so much. There was tons of bits. There was tons of resubs. There was subs. There was gifted subs. There's all kinds of activities, and I really appreciate it. And I really appreciate you. And there's follows too. Thank you so much for the follow. It's rolling in, I think, somewhere. Follows somewhere. I can't. Something Prince. For some reason, it's not showing up on my other list. Anyways, thank you so much. Dude, bits too? Dude, thank you. Dude, I appreciate it. Alex, have an awesome weekend, everyone. Thank you so much. 844 bits. I appreciate it. Anyways, thank you so much for everything. What I was saying was like, hey, I really appreciate you chatting and being here. Honestly, like, that's what I appreciate the most. Not that I don't appreciate other things, but I love hearing what you guys are working on. That's not lip service. I'm not just saying that because, like, that's what you should say because people are in the community. No, I really mean it. I'm really glad that you're here. I've streamed before with no one in my channel, or one person that was in channel that was me on a different browser in Firefox to make it look like there was at least someone in my channel. And I remember those days. And while it was still fun, nothing compares to this, to having people that are excited about tech and excited about the things that I'm excited about. So really appreciate it. And again, this is like the one time a week where I can talk freely about some of the stuff that I'm interested in and people actually understand what I'm talking about. So anyways, that's how I always end my stream because it's so true. But anyways, thank you so much. If you have questions or you want me to answer something or I skipped over your message, I apologize just because we got pretty long right now. But as far as time goes, if you want to chat more, if you want to ping me on something, join our Discord. We have over 10,000 people that are in there. We're close to 10,000. I'm going to start saying 10,000 now and not get all like technical on it. Thank you, Romeo Jr. There's an invite right there. If you forget later in the week, you're like, oh yeah, I should join Techno Tim's Discord. Just Google it. It's a partnered server, and it should come up right away. So easy to get into, low ping, laid back, super nice people, lots of tech. So, anyways, I'm not going to be here next Saturday. I was going to say my usual, hey, I'm going to be here next Saturday, but I'm not because I have to do something. I'm going to see if I can rearrange something, and maybe I'll do it on Friday. I know I won't be able to do it on Saturday for sure and not Sunday. So maybe I'll do it a day earlier because I got stuff going on that might roll over a couple days. Anyways, stay tuned. I'll put it in Discord, maybe a Friday morning. And I think that's when, I think I'm going to get 2 videos out this week. So we'll see. Anyways, got something for you Monday, maybe something for you Friday. But yeah, I'll let you know in Discord. This is going way too long. Anyways, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Have a great rest of your Saturday and be good to each other. Take care, folks.